So this is the Polaroid Lab. It's basically a Polaroid camera. The only difference is instead of taking your picture, you put the phone on top, any digital photo you want, and you expose it, goes through, and it prints out. I don't know if it was just because of the tight space I'm filming in at the moment, or it is kind of tedious, but basically these two dots here, you have to line up your phone to make it lined up correctly so you can take the photo. It forces your phone to freak out, and this light constantly flashes as well until you line it up correctly with these two dots. The issue is you can't see it perfectly when you're looking at your screen and trying to do that. I got the hang of it eventually, but it's surprisingly difficult to line everything up, and then it goes boop, 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 and then you press this button and it prints it out. So this is my first time using it. I'm sure it'll be better the next time I use it, but as of right now, I like it, but it's kind of weird. Okay, so one of my favorite photos I've ever taken on a cell phone was this photo, and it actually turned out surprisingly well. It's not as contrasty as I was hoping, but I'm actually quite pleased with the result because I've heard different negative feedback on this technology. So I think this is actually pretty good, especially for my first photo. The highlights are a little overexposed on this one, a little too bright for my liking, but I'm still pretty pleased with the result on this. The colors are okay. This one actually turned out a lot better than I was expecting. Maybe a little too dark in the background, but it actually looks pretty decent. The reason I use this one is because I really like the rope in the background with the light. I just really like it. This one was a little too overexposed. The actual original photo is really nice using the soft boxes that I have, but despite the overexposure, I kind of like how my soft boxes on the side kind of reframe the image. It actually kind of looks a little cool in its own way. This one, very similar to the second photo. The colors are a little too bright for my liking, and as a result, it kind of ruins the image. This one, I specifically have my Nana and my mom out of focus, dead center, and really small from a distance at a low angle. But because it's just, I don't know, maybe just the colors were too light or too bright outside, this one just didn't come out as nice as I was hoping. But it's kind of interesting if you take a close look. This one turned out not too bad. Again, the color's a little too not necessarily overexposed, but just too light of colors, like pastel colors. And as a result, it doesn't show up the best, but I like it. I like the framing and the flowers and stuff. This one turned out really well. This is the art museum, I believe, in Ottawa. Composition is good, but most importantly, the colors and the contrast and everything looks really nice. And as a result of this one, I decided to, for the next, I don't know, 8 or 9 photos, to use the darker photos that I had saved, because I thought the darker the photo, the better exposure I would get. This one is the only one I tried by putting an AR on it, or a video thing, scanner code. I'm not quite sure what you call it. This one turned out really well exposure-wise, but let's see if it works. I think it's called the AR viewer. So let's see if it works first. Oh, it does. Okay, so if you have the Polaroid Lab app, which you need to use this Polaroid Lab, you can put a video over top. So this is a photo that I had, but I also had a video of it. So that works, and it's kind of cool. It's kind of gimmicky, but it's kind of fun. So this may have been a little too dark of a choice of a photo, but it actually turned out really nice. The colors aren't as crisp, or should I say saturated, as I hoped, but Polaroid film is kind of more of a faded look anyway, so I'm happy with this one. This one may be way too dark, but you get the silhouette, so it's cool. This is another one from the art museum in Ottawa. Way too dark, but silhouette looks good, and you get a little bit of the fire in the background. This one looks exactly as I was hoping, despite the saturation, but again, that's Polaroid for you. It's kind of softer. But this is fire, and I put it in a collage app, and I just took one photo, put it in 4 quadrants, and I flipped it all around and ended up looking like a bat. So this one looked actually pretty cool. This is my Nana, and it's one of my favorite photos I've taken of her, and it looks really good. This is a photo that I didn't know if it was going to be too dark and just completely ruined as a result, but it showed up. It didn't come out the best, but I was actually kind of happy with it at the same time. The red background looks terrible though. This one I was taking a risk on because it's a much lighter photo, but despite how light it is, it actually turned out really nice. Like really nice. Again, another darker photo, but also a mixture of dark and light. I was risking it with that last one and this one turned out nicely as well. Nice, a nice clear and relatively crisp or soft focus, if you will, of Polaroid imagery. It was a tough decision for the last one, but I really wanted to test the color and the vibrance. So I just said, why not do a flower photo? So I did that and it looks actually really nice. And none of the photos came out badly, which I was shocked by because it's almost expired film and it's Polaroid, and every once in a while they get screwy. So I'm pretty happy with all of this. So if you want to get Polaroid, the Polaroid Lab, I definitely recommend it because it's fun. If you like Polaroid photography, instant photography, definitely check this out, borrow it from a friend, do anything like that, especially if you want to be a little more precise in your composition and everything. That's one of the main reasons I wanted to get this, because I have great photos I take on my phone, but as much as I love actual Polaroid cameras, you can't exactly be as precise with composition and everything that you want, especially with exposure. So it's kind of like trial and error, and it's kind of expensive to do that. So it's kind of a cool gadget to get. So get one, but get one on sale. It's expensive.